Hello, everyone.
Yo, it was good on a Sunday, October 6th, already on the 6th. Crazy. We back. That's what we're saying. We're so back. Everybody last week, we're so back. We're so back. Everybody was saying that.
Rightfully so. We got
Yeah.
the matchup set up. We got our end game not hopefully sped up. I mean, he can still go, pretty quickly if he wants to, but at least we have the matchup set up.
Yep. The matchups, you got some people that's on the outside, I guess, fighting against God, and other people that's also not there. Don't know, are they collecting artifacts? Are they just going to jump in at a certain time? We don't know, but everybody's playing a part, which is one of the most important things, especially in shonen. Everybody got to play a part. No character left behind. But a lot of series end up doing that. But Tozuka, he remembers his characters.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a hint towards our tier list today. We are going to do utilization of characters. So, are they overutilized? Are they underutilized? Are they perfectly utilized? So on and so forth. And the reason why I wanted to do that this chapter is because of the ending of last chapter with Yusai, our baby girl who might get some focus? Question mark. Finally,
Baby girl.
please help us.
Yes.
Feed us.
And
Welcome, Lauren.
welcome. It's yeah, it really is the perfect time. It's the final arc, final fight. So
Mm-hmm.
if we ever were to talk about utilization, this is the perfect time because it's been a good amount of time, 224 chapters worth of time for most characters to get whichever, to maintain their role, to get into a role and maintain that role. However, like you just said with you side, seems like there's gonna be something that's gonna step up. So this is exciting.
Yeah, I think next week we might do a dieable list. Who do we think might die? Because I do not think we will be without casualties. Kind of somewhat segmenting this to a comment that we received on one of our previous videos. To clarify, I do not want Layla to die. I think it can happen. Not that I want it to happen, but I think that I can.
Yeah, we don't believe you. Anyway, no, so we got like what 25-ish members, right?
Yep.
Aside from like the science group and all that, but 25 members. Uh, Realistically, it's a shonen. It's a shonen manga.
I
I
think
think
5
I'm thinking five as well. I used to
might
say
be
a
a
little
good
bit
amount.
more, but I'm thinking five makes sense. Just about.
Like, not to kind of spoil our rankings, but I think like Sean is very dieable. Um, I said Layla previously, but that was a hot take apparently. Um, I could see
Perhaps
Foley
Usai,
dying, Yusai, and
Billy.
then for a fifth one, Billy.
What? Damn. That's uh yeah, yeah, pretty much. And then it's gonna be some Fang, obviously, yeah. Yeah, right, right. So Fang
Okay.
and someone else, somebody. I think the whoever's the fifth person, just about fifth or sixth person, whichever, out, there's gonna be a shocker in here. I think there will be. Most of them I feel like are kind of predictable, not in a bad way, but like just narratively speaking, like Fang,
Mm-hmm.
narratively speaking, Billy, narratively speaking. Usai, not necessarily narratively speaking, just that she's that kind of character that could be set up that
Sure.
way. Um, and Sean, that's just
That's hurtful.
that's yeah, exactly. So that's one of those ones. So it really all depends, but I do hope that it happens because like I can go on and on about this. I have been, but the master rules. If you want us to get anything out of them, if it's not
Sure.
like their own backstory, or not necessarily backstory, but just their goals, motivations, just something more characterization with them. If we don't at least get that, at least just make them get some bodies. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what they're there for anyway, to make us suffer as humanity. So
Yeah, and the end game portion of this like first round matchup, if you see the title above, like Are we going to have more casualties in like the second round? Is it going to be some people are reincarnated? We've theorized that Heart could have that capacity. We could use Uma Past. Is that the seventh Master Rule? Is he Uma Time? We don't quite know. But there are some ways to bring some people back without, doing it the traditional way of just like the power of friendship or a spell or this was an illusion the whole time.
Right. Or yeah, also Ruin. I mean,
well, yeah.
I guess we can count them. What is Fang doing, man? Is he collecting artifacts? What is he doing?
I think it'd be cool if he started up a martial arts school in the meantime, and maybe he brought in what's his name? That was Shen's older student.
I forgot. I remember him, but I forgot his name.
At least you know who I'm talking about, though.
This probably won't happen, but I wonder. Obviously not doing the same thing that he did before with the whole beads thing, the whole Jiangxi thing, but I wonder if that would be come into effect again, just not in the same way. I don't know. I feel like, I know a lot of series does have something that's kind of one off, like an object or weapons one off, but what is he doing? Maybe something that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably use it for himself, which that doesn't need to happen because I think he'll be a completed man, a completed character when he does die, so he doesn't need to come back or get reincarnated like how Shen.
It would be kind of funny if Fang became the Jiangxi for Shen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think Tozuka needs to do that because I feel like we've got enough of Fang at that point. He's not
he's somewhat completed, I would argue.
Yeah, once Shen gets catapulted higher, that's when But it might end up happening, especially since they're going to get sick. They got to do a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up doing that, which is a good callback. Anyway, what's up, Gavin?
Hello.
All right, ready to start this then?
Yeah, I think I went first last week, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for a little while.
Yes, sir. You guys know, we always mention it again every stream that one of us reacts to the chapter on our own while the other one is away. We'll text them when we are done with whoever the first one that reads is done so that they can come in too. So we can get both blind reactions from both me and Twitchy without us reading together at the same time, all that stuff. Because I don't know, we always felt like it's kind of awkward to do that, but maybe one day we'll do something like that. Who knows? Maybe with Berserk. But anyway, though, I'm gonna get into this chapter, man. Chapter 225 of Undead Unluck. I am ready for this. And also, guys, just to let you guys know again, if you're in the Discord, if something ever happens on the stream and either of us doesn't catch it, make sure that you go, say, for example, if I'm muted or something, or if something wrong happens, I end up getting dropped because Twitchy is the one that's streaming it. So if anything goes wrong on either end, you guys know to go tell that person in the Discord. So just add us and yeah. But here we are. Chapter 225 is called I Want to Get to Know. Okay. So we are the 2v2 between Andy and Fuko against Death or Dead and Luck. So you're trying to take each of us 10 superior rules down, huh? Your plan is not misguided. However, it is impossible. You lack your sole means of conquering us without injustice. And they brought that up again. That's interesting. So yeah, we're definitely going to see Julia manifest that in some kind of way, whether it's via remember or something else. God's still shooting them damn laser beams out while we're using that shield unbreakable replica of Aegis, quote unquote replica shield blocking it. You do not stand a chance. Injustice presence let this battle persist to loop 101. And I also like that it made Juice even more this goes into just how strong her ability is in general. I like that not having her allows them to, it makes sense. We've seen that she, in the previous loop, that she was a little boy and little girl and all of them. Yep, that's right. We're gonna win at this rate. You do know that, right? So yeah, you should at least use it. The item that will sync your experience points from across all the previous loops. Remember, I was just talking about that. That would make things a little better. Everyone, and there goes Julia. Oh, so that's where Nico's at. Okay, okay, got it, got it. So Nico's at the HQ, looking at everything, giving them communications and all that stuff. Yep, and then Julia's right by him. They go Rip with Blade Runner going against Sick. We see Gina against Change. I love these panels. I love these shots. Are you sure you should be here? Was that? What do you mean by that? Huh, they're gone. We can't yeah. We can't completely stop them at this rate. We won't. So change war. This is a fire devil spray. Change war time. He really sitting in chair justice with Usai and Sick. We won't last long. Do you think you children can beat your parents? Wow, that is a line, which is, I mean, it makes sense. And yeah, death. Oh man, death and luck. That's crazy. So it's gonna be like a not necessarily a shield and spear or slash sword battle, but something like that. This is gonna be a crazy ass fight. I don't know how that's gonna end this fight. Death's juniors. One touch means death. Wow. I'll take old death here. Yeah. I think I might have to switch at one point, maybe. I don't know. Oh, did she bring out the remember card? Fuko. Aha, nice. Julia, listen up. It's time you made up your mind. Oh shit. The you who stands here now is the result of the former undead. The person who loved you, Victor, given his all to reach you, you're his final gift. Gift. I trusted in your vision of justice and dragged you into this fight because I thought that that's how it should be. It would be all too easy to remember now, or it would be all too easy to use remember now and tread all over Victor's kindness. But I think that the answer lies in you taking on his affection as your current self. So she's probably gonna have like a similar. It's funny that she's right by Nico. I think she's gonna have like a Nico moment, essentially, like when you want to get Lon slash language. So what will it be, Julia? I I want to remain myself and get to know that person. Okay, you hear that? Don't run away. Then it's decided. 10 minutes. We'll buy you time. Don't rush to take down your targets. Focus on gathering intel and buying time. Creed, Phil, Engine, head to the round table. Roger that. Okay, so now we know we're at least we're Phil and Engine, or because I don't think we've seen it. We've seen Creed, I believe, a little bit with Void. Okay, let's go to the round table. Mr. Nico, take Julia. Wait, you're not talking about. Is it illogical? Yeah, but you see, if we only took the orthodox path, we wouldn't be here now. Okay, let's go, Julia. They going down. Right. Uh-oh, my phone is hot. It is hot. It is hot. It is hot. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, at least you guys can still hear me. My camera. I mean, not my camera, but my microphone. It's really hot right now. It's like 100 degrees, so my bad, guys. I know it froze. My bad. But I'm gonna continue. Let's go, Julia. Right. Ah, what? Are you not going to use remember? Oh, I am. Once the final piece is in place, that is, I am not naive enough to let that come to pass. Hmm. Okay. I know that it's selfish. Ichiko, I'm leaving the final adjustments to you. Roger. Let's see. Is my mic good? Yeah, it should be good. All right. But I think that's how things should be. If I'm the embodiment of his affection and the reason he did this, I should answer him as myself. Okay. Death Jr. This is big character moment for her. I like that. I like that that's something that I really wanted. I didn't necessarily at first I did kind of want her to manifest into Julius, but after a while, I was like, nah, let Juliet be herself. But she could just learn everything that would happen. Maybe Julius can still help her or whatever, but let her still be herself. Go on ahead. Leave this to the rest of us. Oh shit. Uh oh. Whoa. Right. Thank you, everyone. Ooh, I like how what he did. He made like a square shield with his electro ball thing. I'm off to see everything. And through his vision of justice, ooh, got the saber. My vision of justice, those memories ingrained in you. Oh, I'm going to take them. Apocalypse. Oh shit. Hey man. Mm. I think I said this last week. I said exactly this last week that she was going to end up going to Apocalypse. That's how she was going to do it. Not necessarily with Remember, but do it through Apocalypse. Because if you touch an artifact, especially Apocalypse, you should get all the memories. And plus, we know that they have a relationship, and we might finally look at the origins of. Man, we're getting everything that we wanted, man. Tozuka, you're doing a good ass job, man. A good ass job. Damn. Wow. That was good. That was real good. So Julia's going to do what Gina did. Remember, it's still going to be used, but it will be more meaningful. If Julia combined with Louise, it could result in a totally new personality, then a new form of injustice it can manifest. Yeah, Furion. I think they got the real ages this time and last chapter, not the fake one. Okay, okay, Gavin. Because at first I thought they were still using the replica, but okay, that makes. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. I'm thinking Victor may come to Julia as a clone of Andy during these 10 minutes. Oh yeah, that will work too, for sure. I like this a lot, man. What's the difference between getting memories via Apocalypse compared to Remember? I feel like the difference might be that like we still don't know how Remember works in terms of like, do we know if it's like if you could choose only one person at a time, or does it like almost have to be a collective? I mean, well, I mean, we do know that obviously we stabbed Victor with it, so it was just one person. But maybe there's, I think there's more drawback when you use Remember itself versus Apocalypse. I think with Apocalypse, we're going to get like the actual origins of everything because, we assume that Joyce is like technically player one. So all those years ago when she found Apocalypse or whatever, we're going to go through all of those memories. So specifically with Apocalypse, because he would have all the memories to everything. I think if you use Remember, it wouldn't really like. Hmm, I don't know. I just feel like Apocalypse would have all of the information that she would need, like literally all of it, versus Remember. Remember, I guess would, but I think it would be more confusing for Julia to maintain that information. And if she's been through 100 loops of like being with Apocalypse, I'm sure she would get every single thing, every experience from every loop, even all the conversations with Apocalypse. And plus, we kind of got their relationship built up a little bit throughout. At random times, Apocalypse would talk shit, but at the same time, you could tell he has some kind of like relationship with Juice because he's been with her for so many times throughout so many loops. So this is good. This is real good, man. I'm gonna tell Twitchy to come up on in here now. Hopefully my microphone was good throughout the chat. I think it was okay. It was my camera. I just know the difference is the fact that Remember is voluntarily putting memories into people instead of Apocalypse forcing memories into people, which would be quite the overload. Exactly. So I think it's gonna. That's why I said she's gonna get like a Nico situation where she's gonna get everything versus just the prior trauma or whatever, or not trauma but prior experience, aka Loop 100. So she's gonna get everything, Louise related everything, not just Loop 100, but all of it. All right, let me get Twitchy up in here. All right. Yeah, Lauren, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Kind of like the Victor situation where like he created Andy essentially. I think something like that would end up happening where she would turn into Juiz. So that's probably the difference. Where she could still, because remember she said she wants to remain herself. So I think that also goes into like Tozuka just telling us like, okay, so that's still gonna remain the same, but it's gonna be separate from if that if we were to use that. Yeah, same, Denver, same. All right. Yeah, I had to turn my
Okay.
camera off because it froze because it was hot. I was like, oh shit. So,
Oh
but
well.
we good. Go ahead, enjoy.
Alrighty, guys. So if you haven't already and you enjoyed anything from Vontae's reaction or mine, just another reminder, if you could just like the stream for us. I try to say that every week if I can remember. But let's get into chapter 225. I want to get to know. Okay. So you're trying to take each of us 10 superior rules down, huh? Is that her scythe? Okay. I thought maybe Luck had some other like gun behind her, but that's not that's not true. At least for now. Your plan is not misguided. However, it is impossible. You lack your sole means of conquering us without injustice. You do not stand a chance. Injustice's presence let this battle persist to loop 101. Yep, that's right. We're gonna win at this rate. You do know that, right? So yeah, you should at least use it. Remember? Please? Please? Yes. The item that'll sync your experience points from across all the previous loops. Remember. That would make things a little better. Everyone. Okay, Julia, and I think that might be Nico looking on? Or maybe Bao. Alright, so change versus unchange, rip versus sick. Are you sure you should be here? Was that? Ding, 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 ding. He shoots off into the distance. Damn. Okay, so sick is shooting back towards the... Let's just call it the main fight. Huh? They're gone. Yes! Our boy Sean. Ugh. We can't completely stop them at this rate. We won't. Let's go to the double spread. Last long. Okay, officially confirmed. Uma time. Change. War. I love how menacing that War seems. He's like standing on air, just looking down both physically and metaphorically on his adversaries. Fang is not here yet, and Uma time is sitting down as it's happening. Justice standing there like a traditional knight. Alright. And then Luck and Death. Alright, so we're going to go back to the single page read. Death, Luck. Oh, they got combo attacks too. Do you think you children can beat your parents? Death's juniors. One touch means death. It's dissolving, Andy, as he regenerates. I'll take old Death here. Fuko looks on. She's got the card. Fuko! Nice! Julia, listen up. It's time you made up your mind. The one who stands here now is the result of the former undead, the person who loved you, Victor, giving his all to reach you. You're his final gift. Gift? I trusted in the vision of justice and dragged you into this fight because I thought that's how it should be. Let's do a quick peek, make sure I'm still recording. Yep, looks good. It would be all too easy to use Remember Now and tread all over Victor's kindness, but I think that the answer lies in you taking on his affection as your current self. So what will it be, Julia? I want to remain myself and get to know that person. I love this in-between panel because since you can't see above or below the jawline, it makes it seem like Victor heard this within Andy. You hear that? Don't run away, says Andy. Then it's decided. 10 minutes will buy you time. Don't rush to take down your targets. Focus on gathering intel and buying time. Creed, Phil, Engine. Head to the round table. Roger that. Mr. Nico, take Julia. Wait, you're not talking about... She's going to do a point transfer? Is it illogical? Yeah, but you see, if we only took the orthodox path, we wouldn't be here right now. Little ball. Let's go, Julia. Hi! What? Are you not going to use remember? Oh, I am. Once the final piece is in place, that is. I am not naive enough to let that come to pass. Bubble. It's his goosh? Goosh? I know that it's selfish, but I think that's how things should be. Ichiko, I'm leaving the final adjustments to you, Roger. If I'm the embodiment of his affection, and the reason he did this, I should answer him as myself. Death's Juniors. Go on ahead. Leave this to the rest of us. Phil coming in with the blicks. You got good old Creed. I don't see Engine just yet. Right. Thank you, everyone. Oh my god, look, call back to that line. Well done. Nico's got his grid formation, like a laser defense system. I'm off to see everything. And through his vision of justice, I'm going to find it. My vision of justice. Apocalypse! Those memories ingrained in you, I'm going to take them. All right, we did call that. Julia is going to obtain at least some of the memories from Apocalypse, or if Apocalypse deems it, all the memories. I wonder why we're going through this route as opposed to using Remember, though. So this will allow Julia to find out about the past 100 loops, but it's not going to give the trauma to all of the other members of the Union, perhaps? It's an interesting take.
So, I predicted this, said this last week, that this will end up happening with her in Apocalypse. I think the difference would be is just that it's, well, because Fuko did say that she will use Remember, like, after the fact, like she said, it's a final piece or whatever, or something like that. So I think this is more of a safer route because something, like, think about how, like, what happened with Victor, and then Andy was birthed through Victor from Remember. Maybe Fuko just wants to kind of, like, dodge. Well, there's two reasons. One is that Fuko, she probably just wants to dodge any, like,
reoccurrence of that. Yeah,
or anything that's, like, just troublesome that comes with that. But also, I think this is Tozuka giving us a way for us through a newer character, like a rookie character, so that we can see the past finally, like the actual origins of Juiz, what happened with her when she first picked up Apocalypse or whatever. How did that happen? How did she become the quote unquote first player as Yan for the Negators? So that's one reason why. Another one, I just think that it's maybe the safer route because you don't get the trauma or anything like that, or she's like an outsider reading a big book. So when she does pertain to information, and if they do use Remember, maybe she would be ready and more prepared. Because I think if you just remember now, once again, I think something maybe not exactly the same with Victor and Andy, but like something similar, where she might end up manifesting into Juice because she did say she wants to remain herself. So if you keep Julia being herself, getting the information from Apocalypse, and then using Remember, maybe she can maintain her sense of self while also having Juice's assistance or something like that.
Hmm. I do also think this opens up the possibility this is how we're going to get the Loop 1 experience or the memories or at least a
Exactly.
showcase of that story.
Yep.
I don't think using Remember necessarily would have given us that.
Mm-mm.
So that was pretty cool.
It would have been more. It would be a speed run, I think, if it was just Remember. It would just be like, okay, she gets
Everyone
Juice's
has the powers,
memories.
everyone has the memories, everyone,
Yeah.
they've been
So this like
upgraded.
setting her up to get ready for that versus what happened last time where it was just she stabbed Victor and then boom, this thing happened. And yeah.
Welcome, Bever Clipping. That's a new name. I haven't seen you
Hmm.
before, so welcome. They say, I'd assume the difference is in the fact that Remember is voluntarily putting memories into people instead of Apocalypse forcing memories into people, which would be quite the overload.
Yeah.
That's another important distinction.
And plus Apocalypse does have a relationship with Juice. Like there's a lot of times where he'll talk shit or whatever, but he will like blush or like have that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
but whenever she say
Tsundere.
something, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad we're finally going to get that. But we definitely need that first loop. We need the
Mm-hmm.
origins, 100%.
Let's take a look.
They talking all that shit. So y'all don't got injustice. Ha ha, you gonna lose.
Well, wasn't something that Foucault had said previously is she did not think that Julia would manifest on justice unless she encountered Victor. So this,
Mhm.
if kind of a similar format of the interaction with Soul Calibur that
Exactly.
Anaon used on Foucault previously, this is the only way that she could meet Victor unless she went inside of Andy's head.
Mhm.
I also it's a small little detail. It's also efficient in how they're using it. But page 3, I love how the HUD that they're looking at is one for one of the panels that we saw as the viewer
Yeah.
last
Yep.
chapter.
I thought the
That's
same
really
thing. I
clean.
zoomed in. I was like, oh, that's fire. I also think it's kind of cool and a little bit of a foreshadow that her and Nico are both at the HQ there, and she's pretty much going to get the same experience as Nico did. Not traumatically, but like
Similarly.
pertaining to all the memories and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that I do really like that Shizuka's allowing Julia to just be herself. She doesn't have to manifest and turn into Juiz or anything like that. She wants to be herself, so she made that choice. Fuko allowed her to make that choice, and then she told her also like, "Well, so what do you want? You want to be this? You want justice? You know what I'm saying? We kind of need you, but you still choose though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still choose, but we need you."
What do you what do you think Justice is doing to Yusai in that panel on page 7? Do you think he
I
has
looked
kind
at
of
that.
like a Fujitora type of like gravity? Like if you want to fight him, he will use the Justice to have like a ideological
Yeah,
conversation.
I think so. Which is interesting because at that point they both have techniques that like stops you or like
Mm-hmm.
somewhat immobilizes something on you, like your arms or just your body. Huh. So it's probably gonna be a lot of talking in there. I think we're gonna like that one a lot.
And I had mentioned it being a combo attack, but I don't necessarily think that might be the case. Do you think that Death Luck was a combo attack, or that was just like what their form looks like? Or like
I
Tozuka
think
was
it was
trying to.
combo.
So
Wait,
like
which
did
page was that again?
page 8? Was Tozuka like just trying to emphasize both death and luck, or was that a combo attack?
I think it's a combo because it's kind of like a white silhouette around the skulls from Death, and then you see Luck on Death's back. So it's gonna
So
be
what do
like
you
kind of like
think? Do you think like Andy has good luck imbued into him now? Like what? I don't see how luck, with her power could negatively affect us, if that makes sense.
I think it's more so her buffing her teammate. So her buffing Death is giving Death
Mm.
luck. Kind of like what Fuko, right? Like Fuko gives Andy unluck to attack or to help his attacks. So I think we're getting back
Okay.
to like how Fuko was early on with Andy, like kind of like
Mm-hmm.
on his back a lot. That kind of it's gonna be that kind of battle. Like what do you call those? Like the horse and a knight type, something like that.
Yeah,
Chiv,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Jousting.
So yeah, so it's a buff versus buff fight, pretty much. Well, buff and tank versus buff and tank, I guess.
So
Such a great
Engine,
duo.
has he actually been shown in this chapter or not really?
I don't think I've seen him. Mm-mm. I
I
just
didn't see him
know when
either.
Fuko said what she said, but I did not see him. Hmm.
Do you think maybe the next phase, like phase 2 of Uma Death, is like a spider? Like the arachnid
Um.
of death?
Hmm. So far, those skulls have like a serpent-like body, so maybe it's gonna want to be
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
serpent-like. Shit, maybe even like a dragon or something like that in phase 3.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see the scales.
I think it's going to look horrific. I think Death legitimately is going to look because like we've seen some really creepy looking like when Ruin first appeared. Obviously was sick. Lon,
Mm-hmm.
like I think Death is easily going to be the scariest looking one once she does go to phase 3.
I'm assuming you've seen the Disney version of Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that type of dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! And Tozuka has had like now 3 iterations of someone like falling down into the Union room, and each time it's been better than the last. That was a solid chapter. Really good.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you, Quetzal. He said he's starting to think that there's a downside to remember because otherwise, why would Death and Luck egg Fuko on to use it? Because they definitely are egging her on to use it. So it definitely has to be some kind of drawback. Or maybe
So
it's one of those
let's.
things where it's like they have a feeling that Fuko would use it because that makes sense to a lot of us on the surface level. But then they know, oh, there is a drawback. But that is kind of stupid though, because then Fuko be like, maybe I shouldn't play this card then. So I don't know what that is, why they're doing that.
So let's think about the last time that Remember was used. So loop
Mm-hmm.
1 or loop 2, whatever you want to say. So early on. So her using it locked in the memories of Victor within the body that we now call Andy.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I'm framing it that way is since that was used so early on, do you think that also locked in something else within Juiz as the person who used Remember on someone else? So maybe it locked in her soul
Or
to
so
where
like into a
she could
memory
not.
card.
Yeah, so it like a life for a life is the phrase. So
Mm-hmm.
she created life, but then she can never use soul powers. She's just used
Mm-hmm.
her negator abilities in the past 100 loops to keep them at bay. So maybe this will allow Julia to get the memories in this form or fashion to develop soul powers in addition to Injustice, potentially.
Right. Hmm. It's still weird though, because like, why would y'all egg her on to do it, because that makes her obviously think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't use it then, because why are they so hyped for me to use it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just an arrogance thing. Once again, with these villains, man, I don't want them to be so generic. I really don't want that to be the thing. That is kind of treading that line a little bit.
A little bit, but
yes, they are doing what they're supposed to do by design. They are designed to make humanity suffer. But it's just like, we know that you guys as master rules, you're beyond that as in like a common Uma. So, but yeah, Engine, I don't know. I had my prediction that he was finding hearts in the core of the earth, but then Fuko wouldn't tell him, like, hey, Engine, you too. I don't know why
that obviously takes precedence.
Yeah. So I don't know why he would be missing necessarily, because we don't see him at all.
Like, she told him that on the comms, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's in this area, right? He could be somewhere else in the world.
I mean, you would think though. Like, you would think that Fuko would know.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just like why haven't we physically seen him on panel?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's still my prediction for now. Maybe, unless like the only thing I can think of is like maybe Fang took some people with him or took Engine with him to go look for artifacts or do some shit. Yeah. And he knows that his ability would be good for that.
Well, we still don't know where Top is. We still don't know where Haru is.
Yeah.
Because even though they were able to create a makeshift Aegis in the 4 months, we have not yet seen either one of those.
I apologize in advance for how annoying I'll be if we start a big Juice flashback next chapter. Hey, man.
Hey, you got it, refs. That's what we want to.
Peak romance, man. Serious is peak romance. I think Engine, I mean, from what we seen him do in the last loop, he was very crucial. Like, we barely got any dialogue from the guy, like, hardly. And then he just came and he was like, even though we lost, we got swept, he was pretty clutch. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is maybe him going to the core of the earth to get Heart, because that's where I think Heart is. So obviously it'll be hot down there, so he'll probably use his ability to go get it. And to even get there in the first place, how would you even get to the core of the earth? Oh, well, you'll probably end up going with Fang. Maybe Top also, I don't know, something with speed or traveling. You know, I'm thinking about how would he even travel there. So who else could he have got a ride with other than Fang or Top or even Haru because of the Unbreakable? Maybe that's also something that they're using too, so they don't get burnt up or, you know, hurt badly.
Like, Heart, I'm just going to kind of like say this overall. Heart has to be on Earth, on the sun, or on the moon, right? There's no possibility it could be out in the cosmos.
Yeah, I think at first I wanted to say sun, but I genuinely think it has to be it within Earth, because I mean all the 3 sacred treasures do come back on Earth when it's formed. So I definitely think it's in the core of the Earth. Yeah, Alves, I think everybody will get some shine. For sure. This is a series that you don't even have to like be so worried about. Aside from like the pacing, like if it does end a lot sooner than we think. But aside from that, I think everybody. I mean, look at Yusai once again, somebody that was not utilized, which this could be a segue in a few minutes to our tier list, but character who was not utilized, and she's going 1-on-1 with one of the master rules. So I think everybody would get a good shine. Kurudu situation with Engine, honestly, it's kind of crazy. He's already surpassed her just with his little arc with the ramen. Like, just with that kind of shows you how Kurudu And I don't blame Tozuka. Like every manga has that where there's a few characters that don't really get much. But I will say, for her character compared to everybody else, she is very underutilized. Whereas, like, what's the point even having her? Like, literally, you could take her out of the manga and you could still do the Fuko mom arc. Technically, you could find another way to do it relatively easily.
Yeah, that's hard to dispute, I'll say.
Just use another character that soul is manipulating. Well, another last minute betrayal. That would piss me the fuck off at this point. Not in a bad, not like bad written, but just like, come on, man.
Like we can't even get to where we're heading.
Maybe Yusai might develop like a new condition with her ability now too. Now that I think about it, I don't think we have seen that in a little minute.
Well, also we don't know who has trained with their soul powers or not yet. Now,
Right. Well, with that being said, you want to just hop into the utilization tier list since we've been talking about
literally perfect timing. I was
Yep.
just finished up making it.
that?
Okay. Make this a little bit.
So you're the weapon from Uma Death, the scythe. Yeah. And once again, whenever we do these tier list, guys, you are still free to talk about the chapter, of course.
Oh, I don't like how that worked.
I don't want to cut you off.
Background. Why does it do that? Oh wow. What are you gonna do?
Justice seems to be only affecting her sword, not Yusai herself. That is true. We see her face expression, how she like kind of turned. That's why I think it's gonna be like it's gonna be a lot of dialogue, I think, between those two because technically speaking, they both can immobilize each other.
Welcome, Tidy again. Welcome, Quetzal.
Welcome, welcome.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this tier list pulled up.
I agree, Alvin. It's the deaf and sick juniors. Yeah, because we hadn't seen the junior stuff in a minute. Well, literally since the Sun last time.
Okay, so as Vante sort of did an intro for, this is going to be a utilization tier list in terms of how well do we think that these characters have been utilized in their respective roles in this series. So this is all encompassing. So chapter 1 all the way up to chapter 225 today. We are going to start off as always because this is just the name of the screenshots that I took on my computer since this is a tier list I have made myself. We're going to start with Andy. That's an easy one.
Yep.
Or is it? Because Andy was off screen for about 100 chapters. I purposely set you up for that.
Because every time he came back, it was like, oh wow, he's him. He's just like, I don't know for you guys, because I know you guys have to like wait a long time, but I think it was fine.
Okay, so next up, Billy. We had to wait a little while in Loop 101 to get him, but he did play the quote-unquote bad guy role of Aizen in the first loop that we saw on screen. And now he is more so a little bit off to the side now that we've gotten focus on other characters.
Yeah.
But all things considered, I think he is also in the perfectly utilized category.
Yeah, he'll still at least be up there.
Okay, next up, Nico. He was, again, kind of like a reverse Billy situation. He was not utilized a lot in Loop 100 up until the end, and then he has been a focal point for Loop 100.
100%. Perfectly put him above Billy.
I would agree with that. Both the tier and then also the ranking.
It's crazy. They both were antagonists at one point.
But you know what? Their betrayals make sense. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, Ruin. So this is an interesting conversation because he was not there up until Ragnarok damn near started.
Yeah. Okay. For Ruin, he does exactly what he's supposed to do. Like, especially even now looking at the master rules and like just his placement as a negator that's technically on their side. I think he did exactly what he was set out to do. Like his debut. He's practically been the same the whole time. Until like now he's about to go through rehab or something. But I mean,
I don't think he is perfectly utilized just yet, but that comes with the asterisk that we expect more from him. So at the moment, I would put him pretty high up on the used well tier.
I guess that makes sense because there's a lot of mystery from this character for a long time, and still technically. So that I would say that quote unquote holds him back. Not holds him back, but for the tier list, yeah. So I agree with you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, next up, we did get a little bit more this loop from our boy Phil Hawkins in Truster personified, but in loop 100, he was almost, I'd argue, a background character.
Yeah. I personally would just say underused because of that, but we obviously learned his whole we learned why he's the way he is. But even with that, you can still do more with him.
Yeah, I don't want to say used badly, because I do think that what we have gotten from this loop as an explanation for the previous loops was reasonable. Like, the reason why he's not shown a lot is because he doesn't have a lot of emotion to project to both the reader and then those in canon who are around him. So,
yeah,
underutilized it is.
Especially with that whole artifact that he has, I've been wanting to spin back to that.
I do really wish that Tozuka would focus more on Phil. I just love his character so much. He has that childlike appearance. He apparently is like a savant or like a prodigy as it relates to intelligence. And especially with his mom, everything that's going on with that. I need more.
I think I know one of my problems with him. Or the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that he doesn't really have a real relationship with another character in terms of like a friend.
He did in Loop 100.
Father figure,
he was very close to Nico.
Yeah, but we didn't
that
really.
Seemed more like a science experiment, truth be told.
Yeah, we didn't explore that. That was just kind of he was just that was already established, but we didn't know why. Like, how did that start? I mean, we get why, we just didn't see it. So I think it would be cool if he had, especially maybe with the other kids, I don't know, somebody just being friendly with him and just nice to him, and I think that's the thing that's missing for him. Every other character has somebody, for the most part,
and appear close to. Yes.
Yeah, like the next person, Tatiana, with Billy previously, and now Chikara. It's like Phil never has that with anybody. It's just a collective, but it's never one specific person.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm looking at it, everybody else has that just about. Ah, damn, that's kind of. Mm,
It sucks. He's lonely, and not
damn,
by his own
everybody.
choice.
Whoa. Hmm. Yeah, Quetzal
Yeah,
for sure. Oh, I can't wait to see him like smile or something if the negator abilities are gone. And oh wow, oh man.
yeah. Long story short, we need some more Phil focus. But moving on to the next character for this tier list is going to be Tatiana, the Super Monkey Ball girl.
Hmm. This is a weird one. I'd say she's mostly used well. Like even in one-on-one, like for what she is, like she's a model. Like
Mm-hmm.
technically she's used well, but I still want more.
Yeah, the problem is, and it guys, if you haven't caught on, we are also ranking them within the tiers themselves. So if it's more to the left, it's more of a personification of that tier. So, say for example that Andy, we believe, is better utilized than Nico in the story. So, the reason why I prefaced that statement with that statement that I'm about to make is Tatiana. I feel like she is utilized better than Ruin, but also like less than Phil this loop. So do I take like the utilization of loop 100 more so into account because of what I do expect from her? Or is that like unrealized gains, if that makes sense?
This is kind of tough though, because like, is she honestly underutilized for maybe? I guess because we're comparing her to 100, that's why. But
Mm-hmm.
technically, she does what she's supposed to. Like in this loop, she's a model. She does exactly that. Um, you can almost even argue that she's a complete character in another way if you look at it separately from. Because we were saying before that, like, what if? I think she will come out again, of course, and help them. But like we talked about, like, what if there's characters that just want to live their life and aren't that don't really want to be on the battlefield or whatever. But so she's relatively complete. She is just her choice if she wants to help or not, but she honestly doesn't even have to. So I would almost say she is a complete character.
So would you put her above Ruin? I'm thinking you might have talked me into that.
I would put her, yeah, I'll put her above Ruin because Ruin still has more to,
Okay.
to play, more of a part to play.
All right, I'm gonna love this ranking.
So,
Next up, we have our girl Lucy.
what you thinking?
I'm thinking above Tatiana, maybe
you know,
even in the perfectly tier.
this might sound like a hot take, but I'll put her underused. Like,
Underused.
okay,
Okay,
the reason why I say that is because for us to get introduced to this whole soul thing with,
sure.
it's kind of weird that she doesn't have more of a impact. Like, you don't introduce a power system with somebody, like another part of a power system with somebody,
And then
and
we
then you
never see
kind
her
of just,
again.
yeah. And even if we do see her again, I'm gonna be honest with you. Do we think it's gonna be satisfying? Like, honestly, I feel like she should have been back by now
Hmm.
for us to kind of feel that way. Because if she comes back, it's gonna kind of be out of nowhere. What the hell does she even know? Do we even know if she, like, is she, oh,
I think the problem that is introduced with Lucy is somewhat of a power scaling problem that I have with Andy, because Andy was able to single-handedly hold back 10 master rules for thousands of years, we assume, right? So her showing him the ropes and then him, just going up and above what we could assume Lucy could do.
And like even if Andy's surpassing her essentially, like now he's the the person we were going with for the whole soul thing, even though he was there the first time too with her. But like it's just still weird to have a character where you get introduced to this whole thing from a character that's just not used anymore. Like what the hell is that?
I want to give you an interesting what if. I just want you to think of Lucy as the same character that we know her today, but I want you to age her up. So, what if she's an old, kind of like a mentor to Andy? Does that change how you think she's been utilized in the series? Like, let's just take away her young age at the moment. If an older Lucy, a bedridden Lucy, is the one to teach Andy about souls, do you think that's any different, up or down for this
Oh
team?
yeah, it'll make her absolutely much better. It's just hard to even see how that scenario even come to play. But given, okay, like you said, if that does happen, like if that were to happen, yes, she would definitely go a lot higher because then she actually fulfilled her role, in my opinion. Where it's like it's kind of like with Ano or like with Akira a little bit, where
Mm-hmm.
Akira technically, and we'll get to them too. They he's relatively complete, but I feel like with Lucy, since that was like a whole brand new thing, like it's not even just a negator ability, it's literally soul stuff. It's like, damn, can we get more? And like you said, if that were to happen, if she was old, bedridden, and were to help Andy, full circle moment, I'd absolutely love that if that were to happen. But I don't know. Percentage wise, I don't know if it's likely or not at this point.
I think my issue is that her character is tied in so intimately with soul powers, like you're saying. Like, she was our introduction into a concept of the power system, and we have not gotten her this loop yet.
Yeah, it's weird. Like she did a lot, and even to what Alves said when he added to what you were saying about how she brought out Andy's true desires and real dreams, and that was so huge. But to not even circle back to her when she was a character that did all of this to one of our MCs, implemented a whole new section of the power system, and then don't use her. That's to me, that's underused because she definitely should be higher, and I think that's why it's like she should be so higher for me, but she isn't because of she's not there. Like, and we already recruited everybody, so how do we even recruit her now?
Yeah, I just need to know how she exists in this world. Like, Tozuka has been keeping this up his sleeve for a while. And there's got to be a reason for it. It's just we haven't seen it yet, so this is all speculation. If I had to give a final answer, Jeopardy style, I would say ugh, right above Phil because of what she did for Andy, even though this loop, like, just not enough.
You know what? Just based off of her in the beginning, I might let you put her in like the bottom of you as well, because for what she did, right? And say if Suzuka's like, okay, this is exactly why, but I don't. It's a weird situation. That is a little too big to have a character like her. We get introduced to something completely different. Even our main character's like true dream, right? And then to not be used at all anymore. I feel like if she was just at least used a little bit, like just a tiny bit, kind of like with Tatiana, her being a model, something like that, I would put her probably at the top of you as well. But since you guys brought up the impact she had though initially, that's a
Yeah.
very strong impact. I think I should
But
at least still give that credit.
I don't think that she should be in the used well category, though. It just, we have not seen her at all this loop. And with all of the, oh, we're going to have a soul training arc, or, oh, we're going to have the main antagonist be literally her power, as Gavin says that he's betting that she is soul. I personally would have her at the top of underused, but I wouldn't be mad if, I'll give you the final decision if you had her at the bottom of you as well.
It's hard. You know what? maybe just the top of underused, just because it's such a big thing to have her introduced in that way and then not do anything with it anymore. And this was from a random character, so like her whole characterization, just the construction of her and where you placed her in, like where Tozuka placed her in, is just kind of odd all around. Like it works, but then there's like sour
Mm-hmm.
taste in my mouth. I'm like, I'm not sure if I can enjoy it truthfully. Like, sure, I can enjoy sour taste, but not as
That's fair.
much. All right.
All right, moving on. Next up, we have Top Bull Sparks. What you thinking?
Hmm. My answer for this is kind of interesting because it's kind of just about like the kind of character aesthetically he is. Like you would
Sure.
think he would be more of a prominent character. Just, he's young. This is the shonen manga. He's a boy. He looks cool. He's fast. You would expect him to be like a leading character, which he's not, and that's not a problem necessarily. But like, I still gotta kind of go with what I thought early on in the series, since we're going with everything. Like, I did expect more from him, but does he do exactly what he needs to do? Sure. By the mission, honestly, actually, when you
Well,
think about
hold on now. I might even have a hotter take. Like, truthfully, what has Top done in this series outside of a beast tackle?
Creed, and you love that fight with him and
I
Sukara against
do,
Creed.
but that's more so on the fight side.
He's a Hitsugaya, exactly, Alviz. Exactly.
Oh my god, you beat me to it. I would actually say, I would say he's used badly. There is so much more potential in this kid, and I think it both like will piss people off, but I think they'll understand it. He can be so much more in this series.
Yeah, that's true. It's like an athlete that you know is good, but they're underutilized, and the coach for
They
some
sit on the
reason
bench.
just not. Yeah, but you know that they're good. You know they nasty, but nope. So what are you doing?
And even in like Loop 100, what he didn't really do
Nah,
a
he
lot.
didn't do much. Honestly,
Like, I think he
is
was
low-key
badly.
underwhelming. And it sucks to say, but he kind of is under. Like in terms of the missions, he actually has. Shit.
Yeah, he has
When
some
you think
roles.
about it, amongst a lot of characters, he probably put in the most work into like actually defeating people. But like on his own, or just with a few other people, most of them is like a whole group or some, whatever. But just as a character though, and yes, he has a relationship with Ishin, but there's something about him that he's just missing. Once again, it's like Hitsugaya. Like he's cool. I understand him. I get it. He's dope, but like he's not elite enough as he should be.
Now, I will clarify before you guys dislike the video. I feel like he can have a central role both for the plot and as his character for the rest of the series. So he has room to move upward.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment...
Yeah. If we're just doing like a list, like, okay, put it like this, guys. We're doing like a list, not just about characterization, but about like actually like in action and fight. He would be high. He would
like
honestly
impact,
be high. He's done a lot
or
of work.
if you want to do like clutchness, we could do a tier for that.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work. So
I think I gotta put him in used badly.
Personally, I'll put him underused because I think he's used better than Phil. Overall, Phil only really got a little bit from, or not a little bit, I don't want to say it like that, but from 101, he didn't get shit in 100. At least Top got stuff in both.
I kind of disagree with that statement, but
I don't think
I get what you're saying.
We still haven't circled back to the whole doll thing. Like, Phil is very.
All right, guys, we're at a little bit of an impasse here, so we're gonna actually do the first time. We're gonna leave it up to the chat. Do you guys think he should be an underused or used badly? I'm gonna give it like 60 seconds. If you guys don't vote, if there's one vote, we'll just skip Top, I guess, for now. If there's no votes, but what do you guys think?
You created a poll?
No, I could create a poll,
don't
but
think
I
I could
had
do a
this only
poll.
pulled up in StreamYard.
Uh, that's right. I guess we'll still count. Let's just shoot people in here.
All right, it seems like they're more so on your side than my side. So, you do have him above Phil.
Yeah, absolutely.
The chat has spoken.
I mean, if Top not there, they're not getting a lot of work done. To be fair, it'll be.
I
It'll look
mean,
ugly.
I will respect the results of the poll, but I don't necessarily agree. But that's okay. Next up, we are going to have Void Volks.
Badly.
Ugh.
Like that's how and you feel about Top is how I feel about Void. Like, yeah, he do some work, but
Yeah.
I think that's really quick. I don't really think we had to say much.
Yeah, and for him to actually be killed off in Loop 100, yes, we are laughing at what you said in the chat. Like, I thought for the longest time, up until I think he was either a comment or I had like read the manga after we had gotten through like halfway through the season, like there was a guy in that robot suit. At first I thought Andy just killed the robot. And like to find out that there's this background guy that like, oh, he was next to Shen. Who's that melanin guy? Oh, that was actually a person? Okay, well.
He boxed
and then
nice.
That was cool, but then like he got put to the side again for like the last 100 chapters. I'm like, What are we doing, guys? Anyway. moving on to bigger and better things, we have Akira Kuno, Ano-un himself.
What you thinking?
I'm thinking above Nico.
Yeah, Ano-un is like, to me, is what I wish Lucy would be. A completed character, because to come in with that much impact, because Akira had one of the most biggest impacts in the manga, honestly, arguably number one.
I
At least for
put him behind Andy just out of instinct, but now that I'm thinking about it, could you even put Akira above Andy? I would not be upset with that.
Utilization, huh? I mean, once again, I also take into account, like, if a character how complete a character is. Like, is there any more room to grow? Honestly, with Akira, nah. Akira did exactly what he needed to do. And that's why I had that problem with Lucy, because I feel like Lucy can have more. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. I think, like, regardless,
either way,
top three is basically the same.
Yeah.
But you can if you want. Yeah, Akira 3. Why, you think that's crazy? Or are you like, well, what's up? What's up, Quetzal?
Elaborate, please.
Fuko essentially gave him a pat on the back and said, "You did it."
And not only that, like, the self-insert, like, all the things with, kind of narrating the end of Ragnarok.
Okay.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I was like, damn, it was a hot take. All right, Quetzal. Yep.
I didn't think it was a hot take, but
like, literally, he did exactly what he needed to do. He doesn't even have to come back again. Of course, we want to see him again, but he don't even have to.
Yeah, and especially with like that quick interaction he had with Fuko at the beginning of Loop 101, like that just adds the cherry on top to me.
Probably just gonna write a new manga, which is gonna be dope. Oh, that's gonna be cool as hell, actually. In the epilogue.
Oh, imagine he does something for the rules, like a validated what if series. Wow. Okay. I'm cooking, but we're gonna keep moving on. Sean Dots, Mr. Invisible.
You know something funny? He's
higher than Akira.
How do I phrase this? Is saying overutilized a bad? No, that's not bad to say, right?
No.
Okay, because sometimes somebody can look at that as like, oh, we're seeing too much of them, like they're. But you get my point though. Like he's overdone everything.
I also think it was the perfect like bait and switch by Tozuka to make him
100%.
the least likable character in the last loop, and then make him the most, I would argue, one of the most likable characters in
And
this.
one of the most relatable characters. Actually, the most relatable character.
He's just a regular guy. He's trying to find his way in life.
Yeah,
He's not
background
the background character. Oh my god. Like, if I had two Sean Dots, I'd put him in both perfectly and background character. No, but
Wow.
like I was saying, Tozuka cooked with Sean, and you guys, if you saw our favorite characters from the tier list of 101.
Wait a minute. I'm not gonna lie, but like when you have jokingly said like above Akira, I'm saying like
Yes.
honestly,
Yes.
when you think about it, I would literally have like a whole other tier. That's why I said overutilized, because he over exceeded everything that you would think. Like you didn't expect not much from him at all. When he did get introduced, you're like, okay, he'd probably be like like a, I don't know, like a Tella, Yusai, just like a normal person in the middle of the pack. But he literally went above and beyond. We didn't even expect any of this. So it's even hard to even, that's why, exactly. So making a new tier makes sense, because how can I even say perfectly if I didn't bet on him? We had no anticipation for him to be anything. Good, bad, whatever. We was like, okay, if he gets introduced, I'm sure he'll be whatever. So honestly, that is not crazy to yet. He's above perfectly. Yes, he's Sean Dope. Gotta be. Because it would be wrong to say he's perfectly utilized. Because he's honestly overutilized.
He exceeds expectations.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I had expectations, because
Exactly.
everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about Sean for? Man, Sean the GOAT. I think I only saw, you guys mostly kept it a secret, and thank you for that. I think there was one person that was like, man, why do you talk about Sean like that? Like, no, we're going to talk about Sean like that because that's how Tozuka wanted us to talk.
Thank you guys for doing that, by the way.
Yes. Thank you for keeping up the facade. We appreciate that.
We really couldn't tell, like, I guess he's just trash and they just bigging him up or whatever. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Hold on. All right, next up we have Fang Kowloon.
Used well.
The highest used well, I would say.
Yeah, because he's not complete. Just his death will definitely.
There's room. There's room for him to grow, obviously, and we recognize that. Yeah, we'll just keep it.
I just had expectations and I was still disappointed into the opposite.
That's kind of like the plankton meme. It's like, what happened? Well, I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. Tozuka, like, if he thought his manga might have been canceled, he's like, oh, well, Sean can be redeemed. I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
I'm going to answer Alves and Quetzal real quick. So, Quetzal, yes, Fang's definitely going to die. Just because of Shin and that whole relationship and what he did to him prior in the previous loop, and now what his new dream might end up being. And to the Fang in the Sean tier, not going to lie, in a way you could look at it like that, because he kind of does I didn't think that Fang was going to be this kind of guy. I thought he was going to be a pretty cool adversary. We'll get through with him, and that's it. But he literally is like, he's OP as hell. He don't really when he loses, it's not the typical villain losing type situation, if that makes sense. He's like, he's a trump card. He even does stuff
unironically, yes.
He low-key is over, for him as an attack. He kind of is, but we'll put him in use well. Because Sean is just that's a very different,
Again, we mentioned this in the Loop 101 character rankings. I have never seen a character that I have hated that much turn into one of the GOATs.
Never. Ever.
Never. So, We'll put respect on Sean's name. Next up, we have Fuko Izumo, the female MC.
You already know she's
It's
perfect.
perfectly. I'm going to put her above Andy because
Yeah.
the glow up in Loop 101, again, Tozuka knew what he was doing.
And she has
Perfect
the
pairing.
true MC dynamics and tropes.
Yep. Okay. Short and sweet. We'll move on next to the Frenchman, Rip Tristan.
Perfect. He's that traumatic character in a manga that he does exactly what he needs to do. Like,
Agreed.
tragic. He has a little mean streak to him, but once you learn about the situation, okay, I see why you're like that. He's perfect.
And it's like
He can cater
someone
to all
as an
needs.
adversary to the Union. Like, why does he want the Arc? It introduced the concept of there being only one looper for Arc. And then he ended up saying, like, oh, Andy, like, go save your girl. We'll be friends or teammates in the next loop. Just perfect.
Yep. And Yuki
I would
Kaji's
have
voicing
him...
go.
Ooh. And like what I'm recognizing as we're in the middle of this tier list ranking, that this is also mirroring a little bit our character rankings. But we just appreciate good writing. I would have him slightly under Billy, but I mean anywhere under Andy would be fine with me. I really don't care about the ranking in that tier.
Actually, that is kind of interesting though. I would say he's, in a way, he might be a little bit more consistent than Billy, like not in terms of characterization specifically, but more like, once again, the utilization.
Yeah.
But I know we're going to get into Billy stuff anyway, so it I don't know. But
either way,
Billy was a
bigger.
Yeah, Billy was he played a bigger role overall. So yeah, you can just put him right behind him. It don't matter.
All right.
They're like a tie to me.
Okay, so the other Mecha Man, we have Creed Deckard.
Right, Quetzal, Tozuka, he had Akira pretty much bigging him up. That's how you...
the pretty boy.
Creed, man. I think we talked about this last time too. We were saying that like we wish he was utilized more.
I love the concept. Man. I love his background. I love his motivations. And we really haven't gotten a lot from him. He's been the Pikachu, use Thunderbolt type of character. Oh, just use your missile Iron Man suit. Are you going to say anything? Nope.
Underused. I would put him probably behind like Lucy.
That's a good spot because I do like how he was the alpha level threat in the spring arc.
Yeah. He could be so goddamn good. It's kind of, but it's okay. It's not bad for Tozuka because he has so many other great written characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as a fan, everybody has their obscure characters that don't get a lot of shine. It's okay.
Agreed. All right, next up is going to be a little bit of a rant, but in a good way, because we have Chikara Shigeno. This, as Vante and I have said in the past, is the perfect way to use a coward in a series that develops courage over time.
Yeah, perfect. I damn near like there's certain things that could make you be like he could be in Sean's tier in terms of like, sure, we all thought that he was going to improve, but drastically, and that was in 100.
The aura, the
bro was
synergy,
the first one that got hurt in the war.
The sacrifice,
bro. Oh my god. And then now we have motivations from him with the whole photography stuff. Man,
he's given so much more in just like 4 chapters. Like we knew he had like a crush on Tatiana last loop. And I think that was just kind of like they're of the similar age. Like, it's a girl. Like, you can talk to her. She's kind of adorable. Like, I get it. But now it's like they have a reason to be attracted to one another. Like, he takes great pictures. She is a model. He's got to be in the perfectly tier.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. might put him in Sean's tier just because, like, sure, we thought he was going to be, improve, not be so much of a coward, typical. But he went even way beyond that too. Like, there's been numerous times in his manga, even right now, where he's like, and he's still trying to get better. Like, now he's doing it with his ears. Like, bruh, he keeps on elevating. Like, because I also agree with Perfect, but I'm like, man, he really did. Like, I didn't expect him to be one of my favorite characters in the manga at all.
And not to throw shade, but Vontae and I have talked about this previously. How much I like Chikara makes me dislike Usopp even more. And
Exactly.
when
And I
you
hate
are
that.
one of the quote-unquote newcomers of Shonen Jump, and you do it better than a goat in Oda, and not to like say Oda doesn't know what he's doing, because he has so many other aspects of his manga series that are incredible, but to write a courageous coward, Tozuka's doing it better than anyone else I've seen.
Yep. And Chikara,
Okay.
he don't have to do nothing else. I mean, obviously he still do in terms of what's going on right now, but like,
Yeah.
he's completing motivations. He's helping on the battlefield. He's doing everything, like, more than a lot of these characters. Truthfully.
Design-wise, aura, Chikora. All right,
I
moving
still-
on.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to say something else? I was just
Oh,
trying
okay,
to
quickly.
transition.
I was just saying, I still think about that panel of him in that Creed fight with his cape and everything. That's still
Staying in there.
comes to my mind randomly.
Mm,
Like, that was one of
that's
my
a
favorite
JoJo's pose.
Yeah, and it was sideways. Yeah, that was fine.
Okay, next up, Tella, the soft-spoken boy that has regained his voice after getting the artifact to help him speak.
What you thinking? I got my answer.
Underutilized or even used badly. There
Yeah.
just has not been enough. That backstory was tragic. It hurt my heart. But just not enough. And it kind of gets into a similar conversation that we have with Phil, how he can't express his feelings. Tella literally cannot, like, verbally express how he's feeling without the use of that artifact. So he doesn't talk much, and that's also kind of in his personality, so I get it. But there just needs to be more than just Billy's sidekick.
Yeah, see, I think the problem with him is that it's very one-sided. Like, we know that Billy, he's kind to everybody, and to Tella, obviously. But, like, he sees Billy as, like, his mentor, or maybe, like, a big brother figure or whatever. But, like, I wish that we kind of seen their relationship more. Like, we got a little bit of it when Billy was able to, like, know that something was wrong with him. When
Sure.
he had, lost his voice and everything, and his negator ability started. But, like, I just wish we got to see their relationship a little bit more. I think that, honestly, just that alone, just seeing them backing each other up, just being, like, brothers, like, that would kind of complete his character. So, yeah, I agree with you. Used badly.
It's kind of whether I have him above or below Void. I would almost say because of the potential that I see in Tella and that we haven't gotten it, I would have him ranked beneath Void.
I'll probably put him above, even though it don't matter. But, like, I'll put him there just because of, like, a part of Under, he seemed like he was somebody that was very crucial in leading that with Billy.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they don't do that much. It's whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay, the Fortune Teller Supreme, Latla Mira.
Shit. Right behind Rip. Like, perfect.
You have her in perfectly?
Yeah, because, like, what is it about her that's, like, missing? Like, she, even with the romance thing, I shipped her and Rip, and it happened. Like, she's, like, hey. Like, just baby girl, man.
Initially, I did not have her that high. I had her in the higher end of used well.
Well, okay. Yeah, put her in use well actually, because like she is consistent, but like I feel like
I might even have Fang slightly ahead of her.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really articulating that because I was just using my feelings.
Yeah, but
unironically.
I didn't even explain either why I agreed after that. Basically, I just feel like I don't know. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's like maybe it's just her role in the story versus how she is. Like she's used well, like as she's supposed to be, but she's not like a
She doesn't go
like
above
those
and
characters.
beyond,
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
Chikara does. Like she
Right,
does what
right.
she's expected to do, but not a lot of extra stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like with Fang too, same thing.
Okay. I am ready to look at the analytics on this stream after the fact and see the dislikes pouring in. I'm going to do
I don't know
this.
why.
I'm going to do this. We've just got nothing from her character, and I hate it because I love her. I love Bunny. I love her Bax. But, like, who is she? Truthfully, I have no idea. Yeah, she is the mascot.
And not even the best mascot, because Ponda's the best mascot in the series. That's how underutilized.
Damn it.
I compared her to a mascot that's even more like don't get me wrong, don't get it wrong. In Ragnarok in 100, she absolutely like that was crazy. Her and Engine both. Like they were very clutch, and they would still be very clutch right now too. But like her though specifically, she's
like we recruited her this loop. Does she have her power? Does she not have her power? Is anything going to happen with her? We don't know. We literally know next to nothing about her. I would say almost the same amount as the Master Rules that we have not seen, like War, Justice. Like you're a background character. Yep. If you didn't have a name and a couple of lines in like that tragic death in Loop 100, I would not know who you are.
We just recruited her.
It's the whole like Thanos, like I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. Like I don't really care about her being on the battlefield at all. It's just like what the hell?
I don't want her to be. Nothing? She's a child.
Did she even say anything?
I mean, she's cut her hair, like she's like,
and then she was smiling, and that's it.
Are you my new mommy? Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know Bunny, and I want to know Bunny. It hurts me. My health bar literally went down putting her in that category, but it's appropriate. Okay, next up, an interesting conversation because she was, I would consider, a background character in Loop 100, but has been a focal point in Loop 101, and that is Ichiko Nomori.
This was kind of hard for me in a way because, like, I think she does exactly what she needs to do. She utilized the way that she needs to be, especially with Nico, because Nico, we already know what kind of character he is. So it's like, it's kind of like with Latla and Rip. I think obviously Nico and Ichigo's a lot more, that's huge for the trauma specifically. It's more so Rip and Latla shares the trauma of their sister and lover versus Nico and Ichigo. They both live each other's trauma, or mostly Nico. But like, she also helps him. And
I would say
for them to be like the mom
Nico,
and dad of the crew, she does what she needs to do. Very much.
Agreed. So. I would say that Nico is more of a foil to Ichiko than vice versa. And I think that benefits Nico, but it also simultaneously hurts Ichiko in that regard to how she's utilized in the story. I get a similar vibe for her character as I do Ruin. Like, there's more to be had. It's just I like what's been had. Just not enough to say, like...
Yeah.
I would say maybe
kind of how I feel about Latla. Above Lucy. So you think she's underused?
I do. I think there can be more stuff, and it's probably because she's not a mom yet, and Mui seemingly is not in existence yet.
Or Miko.
Or Miko, sorry. What did I say?
Mui.
Speaking of ahead of myself.
I would say that she's used well, maybe at the interviews well. Because, like, honestly, like you said, the whole foil thing with her and Nico, like, it's so huge for his character. I cannot put her underutilized. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him to be that high, I can't put her that low.
I always love her when she's on the screen. It's just I wish she was on screen more. But she doesn't have like that typical, like power set because her negator ability sucks.
Yeah,
it's not good. So
but
she can't honestly be on the battlefield.
She makes Nico goated.
True.
Like literally. If she didn't exist, Nico would just, he'll still be a scientist. He'll be cool, but he'll be like top, right? He'll just be cool.
Yep.
But like, where's the substance? So,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up, Ramen Chef Engine.
This is weird because it just depends how you look at it. He does what he needs to do, but just on a personal level, I think me and you both agree, we just want to see more from him.
100%. I feel like he is used well, but he's not used enough.
Exactly.
And that is important. Under Lucy? Like there's some good stuff. Like he did his thing. He had the whole I want to cook for my mom motivation.
Yeah, at least he did have an arc compared to like Creed,
Yeah.
As a focal point of the arc, that's what I mean.
So you have any problem with that?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, perfect. Next up, Joey's, the topic of
Perfect.
Today's chapter.
It's perfect.
We're
gonna get more, but I still think she did like. Even if you didn't even have, no, I can't say that. I think we still would have wanted more from Julius. I was about to say if Julia didn't even exist, but nah, we would definitely have wanted more.
Where in the perfectly tier are you thinking? I don't think as good as Andy.
Nah. Maybe.
I think Nico's a little bit better.
I'll probably put her above Billy, just because consistent. Like she, even when she's not here right now, she is crucial for this battle. And that's like the biggest part of this battle right now is getting Julia to, learn about her or whatever.
Okay, Gina Chamber.
This is actually kind of interesting to me. Despite her being one of my favorite characters,
do I think she's utilized enough?
I don't think she's perfect. I think she's used well.
Yeah. Top of the
tier. I
tier,
mostly like her because of her personality and some of the dialogue, but like her herself, I want to explore her character more. We will get that, I'd assume, but
I do have her above Fang. Do I? I have her above Latla, but do I have her above Fang?
I will have her above Latla. Yeah, I agree. I'll put her above Latla behind Fang.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we're having like longer conversations with some of these characters and shorter conversations because it's just It's kind of a feeling you get with these tier lists now that we've done 10 of them. Oh, no.
So just making it long. Maybe it'll be long, maybe it'll be
I'm
short.
trying to delay the inevitable.
Oh,
Shen.
God. I don't even want to. I can't just say that. I don't even want them doing.
Do we say it or do I just move them there?
Yeah, just move them.
I'll just do it.
And guys, I think you can agree to at least some extent because like for a character like that, it's kind of like what we said about Top, but like more egregious. Like Shin, even with the arc against Fang, like he was the first side character that had their own focal arc, focused arc, and he, like, what happened? He's not utilized even since after literally once that fight ended, once that arc ended. Yeah, I understand he was dead or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever. He can still talk and get blah blah blah. And then there's this like, yo, he's used very badly.
If it were not for the fact that we did get something from him, he would damn near be a background character.
You know what? This might be the insert Kinemon Oda meme. Oda did not think of that shit. I was about to say maybe it's by design because usually in stories and in real life, right? The student is supposed to teach. I mean, the teacher is supposed to teach the student, and they're supposed to surpass the teacher. Knowing how Fang is, he was always trying to keep his students down, right? And we do think that it's inevitable that he's going to surpass Fang in some kind of way. Pretty soon, relatively soon. So like by design, we're supposed to feel that way. But even when Fang dies, I feel like that's all it does is complete Fang's character, might even elevate him, while Shin might end up just going to you as well at that point. So I don't know if Tozuka if he meant to go down that route, but he just kind of neglected Shin a little too much on accident. But I kind of feel like he purposely was trying to go that route, but just didn't execute it as well as he could have.
What's crazy is the switch up after summer in terms of, if we want to use the stonks meme, like Fang stonks went incredibly up. Shen stonks incredibly down. Like it's the whole like finance meme.
Actually,
it's just like you have the chart upside down.
I know the problem.
Like
it's
going
100.
into it, I just can't see how Shen he's just fallen from grace, and how much more I like Fang now than I ever thought I would like him at the end of summer.
I know the problem. 100. I mean, it's in 101 too, but in 100, it's like once you were done and you fought Fang and you finished him off, you defeated him. You didn't have to deal with him no more. So why was he so stagnant still?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's like I think it should only be like that when Fang is involved with Shin to keep him down, because that's by design. That's what Fang exactly what he wants to do, be above his disciples. But since that's changing, all Tozuka is doing is making Fang better than Shin because he neglected a lot of stuff from Shin early on. And 101, we both feel like, damn, he is very underutilized, but we wouldn't even feel that way if he was used a little bit better after defeating Fang in 100. But it is what it is. He would be similar to how we talk about Billy, where Billy's just kind of there.
Yeah.
And, but we still have him where he is, and Shin could have been the same way, but nah. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Another potential topic of contention. We have Haru Ishin. I do not like how she has been used in this story. She is an equipment manager of the team.
Yeah, exactly that.
I do not feel in any form or fashion, even despite her more appropriate relationship / affection for Top in this loop compared to last loop, she is the water boy of this team so far. the stuff with Spring, absolutely heart-wrenching. But outside of that one scene, what has she done in this series?
Right. She's just there for the you say equipment manager. Like she's
Like, what do you want me to say?
like I wish we got more dialogue from her. Like more. Like how do we have more insight on a damn Uma Spring than her? Now I'm only bringing it up because she has there's a relation there with her predecessors. But like background, she honestly.
I'd have her above Bax, but yes, in that tier or below Shen, because at least Shen we got some focus.
Yeah, she doesn't even get real focus. And even when she does quote unquote get focus, Top really gets the rest of it, or somebody else gets the rest of it. It's like, what the hell is that?
It's similar to the Ichiko to Nico situation. It's like you're a foil to someone else. Your character suffers from propping up another character.
Yep.
Oh boy. If we didn't already get your dislike, let's talk about it. Let's start a dialogue, as Charles Barkley once said.
Shouldn't be a dislike, guys. It shouldn't be, because we love her. I personally love Yusai. Like I that's
love
like baby
her.
girl for me. That's like baby girl. She's like top 2. I put her top 2. I gotta figure out who she might be 1. Like just like the cool factor is there. She like from 100 being the mature woman, older woman, so that like it's there. The like how can I phrase it? It's like the
pieces are there, but they're not being put together.
Yeah, exactly. You have all the ingredients right there. Just put it together. It's right there.
just do it. I recognize that she has a little bit more focus than Haru. She's in between Shen and Haru for me, and I honestly would not care if we put her in either tier.
Honestly, the top of background, because she really is like the epitome of a background character. Like honestly, when you think of these characters, a lot of times when we see them on panels, you're like, oh yeah, Yusai's back there. Like seriously, like she literally is always in the background. I'm not even bullshitting.
And it sucks because she was one of the only parents in Loop 100. Like you could have done anything with that. Like there's been no love interest. That whole statement about Andy taught me love, that was on her card for Spring. Never went back.
We might need to have a dialogue about. I mean, we already are, but like going one by one. But some of these ones that we keep saying that like all the ones from underused to background, all of them have something that can make them go to. If Tozuka just wanted to, like literally every single one of them.
That might be a cool video idea if we do like each of these characters, like you said, from underutilized to the background. We could have a segment in a video of what we want from them moving forward.
Yeah, maybe both of us pick like three each or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like Creed, he could be so much better. Top, we already talked about that. Tella, relationship with Billy, work on that.
Shen will just plug in the clip from this stream.
Yusai, just stop putting her in the background.
Literally, give her this fight. We didn't even get this fight because it's put on pause for now. Anyway, moving on.
Honestly, we don't got to say shit. Like at all.
Like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm just doing that because I like Bax more than Kururu, even though technically, objectively speaking, Kururu should be above Bax. Come on. Something. Anything. She got taken over by Soul. Are we ever going to get back to that? Who's to say?
It's just unfortunate. Like, kind of same stuff that we said about Tatiana, like in 101, you could do the same thing with Bax. I mean, not Bax, Kururu. But like, she just doesn't have the stuff before like that
Mm-hmm.
Tatiana had. But something. It's
Okay.
tough.
So moving on to her idol counterpart, we have Kaide.
You know what? I probably just put her in use well. I mean, like,
Agreed.
because like we didn't even think Noah was gonna get more Fuko's parents. So like, anything with them is just a plus.
A bonus.
Yeah.
It's like a $5 bill that you find in your pants when you're about to do
Yeah.
laundry.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Didn't know I needed this. I'd have her at the bottom, but
Yeah, that's
really,
fine.
I do like how she was used in this storyline, even if it was for just a little mini arc.
Right.
Mui. I do not think that Tozuka has set her up for success so far in this series.
It's kind of weird because how the hell do y'all follow each other and y'all still not? That's kind of crazy. Her and Shin. And they're still
Honestly,
low. It's kind of
I would
bad.
have her below Shen.
It's kind of funny
And-
because yeah.
Like, she's not a, like, literally she was a background character in Loop 100, and then she tried to take the focus in Loop 101.
Yeah,
And
that's the problem. It didn't follow through.
I don't like how that was executed, this loop so far.
I'm not gonna lie, Shin and Boy, that frustrates me from Suzuka. Like, and we praise
There's so
Suzuka
much
a
to
lot,
like.
but I might have to say that's just underwhelming writing all around. Like, just execution. If you're trying to go with the whole teacher not wanting to, like, you can go with that, but you messed up a lot. Aside from that, when they're not connected with Fang, and then you just connect them back with Fang, and then all that does is make him. You see, he poorly executed with those two.
I will say that this could be ever so slightly redeemed by fighting Uma Time. Like, there could be some really interesting dynamics that follow from the conclusion of this fight. But
For sure.
at the moment, I gotta put her in the background character section.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll put her right above Bax. Unless you have an issue with that.
Yeah, she's above her, I would say. She has more more clear focus.
Okay. All right, time for finally a higher ranked person. I didn't do this on purpose, guys. This is literally just the screenshots that I have on my computer. So I didn't mean to, put us in a rut there for a while. But we have Victor.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like we actually don't like. Yeah, perfect. We got his motivation.
I'd have him
what he
below
wanted to do.
Rip, probably.
Yeah. He does exactly what he needs to do. And once again, the whole foil talk with him and Juiz, then it's just
Him and Andy, him and Fuko.
Yep. And we're gonna get some more from him, literally like next chapter maybe, or just very soon.
I hope
general,
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Julia Eustatia next.
Probably just. Well, we know she's used well, especially right now. So, but I don't know if I want to put her above Ichiko.
You do think she's done enough so far to be considered utilized well?
Yeah, because she is a normal girl, and like she was just kind of. Yeah, she's outside of everybody. Very new, normal. That's kind of like the point, and she still was there. She had a lot of dialogue since her introduction. And now she's literally like if if we did this before this chapter, or if this didn't happen in this chapter, I
That's
would put her
true. That's
underused.
true.
But like now,
That's
since we
true.
know, just like how we know Shin, Mui, Yusai, like all of them will probably
Mm-hmm.
elevate. Same thing, but at least we know right now it's happening. So yeah, I put her above
Recency
Fukuoka.
bias aside, I think that's a good spot. But she has the easiest path to moving upwards, especially now that we're gonna get a focus
Oh,
for
for sure.
her.
They need her.
All right, we have Layla Mira next.
This is kind of funny because you can easily say she's used badly, underused, background, but you can also say that she was used well. It's like of what she means to Rip and Latla. It's like
She
okay,
lives on through them.
the only problem I guess is that I'm not saying it's a problem that she's alive. Don't especially the commenter that got on Twitchy, don't get on me. All right, please hear me out. Hear me out. For like 100, for example, like she like if we would have did it back then, she did exactly what she needs to do for the narrative, for the plot. Right now, she is a background character. That's just the facts. So it's kind of funny. It's like you're somebody that moved the plot for
Mm-hmm.
characters, a plot line for characters, but now that they saved you, or at least they saved you, you're a background character.
I mean, she's not meant to be a combatant, which it both does and does not work in her favor because that's not the point of her character. I would say underutilized because that kind of evens out between used well but background character. I don't want to say she's used badly. I wouldn't go so far as to say she's used badly.
I would say
I'd
background.
probably
She's
have
kind of in the
her.
same.
Would you
She's the
have her
same
in
realm as like
background?
Billy's
Okay.
wife and daughter. You know, like that. Like people that you're fighting for, and now that you successfully saved them, we haven't gotten none from her since the end of that arc against Sick. Well, yeah,
I would put her then, if we're gonna agree on background character tier, I would have her above Mui.
yeah. Now there's a 100. I'll put her in like use well for that plot, but she gonna
Okay. Okay, we have a character that doesn't exist yet in this loop. We have Miko Vorgil.
It's a weird phrase. Somebody just randomly went to this stream. They don't even read Undead. They randomly went to that exact moment in the stream. They're like, what? How does that even make sense? What are y'all talking about?
If someone clips this be a cool YouTube short.
I mean, I'll just say underused in my opinion.
Yeah, even with the one poignant scene with her father, and the spiritual essence
Yeah,
of her mother, I would have her probably below Phil.
yeah. I just noticed it seems like Tozuka is really good when it comes to like pairs of characters, but when it comes to like a third character in a plot line, it's kind of like one of them has to get the shit in the stick.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you. What'd you say?
I was saying that like Tozuka, it seems like he's really good with pairs, like two characters, but when it
Okay.
comes to like a trio, it's always somebody that gets the shit in the stick, like with the Layla, Lala,
Oh.
Rip, Miko, Ichiko, Nico. I guess
Yep.
like mostly like family extensions. It's like it's always that third character that's kind of like, it's whatever. Tella,
Fuko's
like if you want
dad
to
that
say
I don't
Creed
even
and
have on this
Billy,
tier list.
right? It's like sometimes people are just the odd man out a lot, even in some pairs, but mostly in the trios.
Okay, we have the first of the master rules in first place, that being Soul.
What do you think?
I think underutilized, not used badly, because to his own admission, he has not been able to do what he wants to do just yet. But he was also created by a higher being to do something specifically.
I'd say that he's used well because I think, like,
In what regard?
by
Like
design, he's
what
doing what he's supposed to.
specifically has he done besides we know the intent to go against Luna's wishes. Like, has he actually done anything
He hasn't been
besides
able
making?
to. Like, yeah.
So I would say technically that's underutilized.
But
In
even
my
when he
opinion.
wasn't able to, he kind of was doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the
Hmm.
anything didn't happen, if what Luna just didn't happen, he would be out here going crazy. And I
Well,
know
yeah,
that's
he's
just a what
Mr.
if,
Potential
but
Man.
like, exactly. I mean, that people, yes, he's literally. If you want to mean, yes, he is that. That's exactly who he is. And they have created that one too, by the way, guys. If you haven't seen it, that meme update, Undead Unluck, Potential Man. So, I mean, I do like that he has unique dialogue with Luna that we wouldn't have thought at all. Like the only dialogue we ever
Okay,
thought was
that's a
between
good point.
Juiz and Fuko with Luna, but with him, that actually made me more intrigued in the Master Rules in itself. If that never happened, I
Hmm.
mean, it's not like it's a crazy boost for them, mostly for him, but like there's a lot of intrigue behind him. If you were to put like a list of like characters from now to the end of the story that you really want to see more of and that you think you will, he's definitely top three, top two. I don't think there's any way that Tozuka just executes poorly on him and is in the end.
Okay, I can see what you're saying now. So in the used well tier.
If he's potential man, he got to be by Julia.
That's hilarious.
But
I'm with it.
right now she's kind of past him, low key. He's stagnant. He can't do that right
Yeah,
now.
I'll put him behind her for now.
I don't think these ones should be really quick for now because
Yeah. Okay.
uh
Uma Death. You got some cool dialogue this chapter, but outside of that, you're just a design aesthetic at this point.
under. Yeah, I agree. Laugh my ass off. That's funny. That's your name.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I would have had her. Well, I'll put her in underutilized.
I mean, it's fair because they have been underutilized. The match rules definitely 90% of them or 80.
Yeah, but the thing I keep thinking of is like, do I consider them underutilized or a background character? They're kind of similar, those two tiers.
I'd say underutilized. Just how big they're supposed to be. They can't be background. But I get what you're saying. But like, they're in the forefront, but not.
No, I also get your interpretation. I will put her in the underused category. I just think because Miko's had a little bit more focus that she has to be like the stopgap. Like I can't put any master role above her if we're gonna use the underutilized category.
Honestly, they all go in there for the most part. We'll get to.
Okay.
I'm eyeballing one of them.
Unchange is next. I believe seat number 3.
I'd probably I probably actually put her slightly above Death just because, in terms of dialogue, we've been know what kind of time she's been on the whole time.
She did have the one interaction with the Union on the sun.
Yeah. Like at least we know her, their personality. We know her more than the rest of them. The other ones we weren't sure how they would act, and now we're starting to learn.
Okay, Uma Luck.
Same thing.
Underused.
Justice. My boy or my girl.
This is... I might fight you on this one. This has to be a background character. There's been no dialogue.
That's fine. You know something I just randomly thought about? I don't know why. What if like they take off their helmet and it's like Louise's face or something like that?
Yeah,
I
don't know if I had said that or if you were just like reading my mind. I was thinking that it was a little girl because both the shorter stature, but also because of like Yusai. Like Yusai going up against a female
Wait a
swordsman.
minute. Did we see Justice getting pummeled to the ground too by Juiz?
I think
Right?
they had a sword fight or a sword clash. Yes.
Because Injustice is the vessel to that. So I wonder. I kind of I don't know why. I'm just thinking this. I kind of feel like once we see Julia learn from Apocalypse, we're going to see Justice somewhere in there early on. I don't know. I think there's some
That'd be
big
interesting.
significance with Justice, especially since we don't know what they look like. I mean, I understand the whole motif, but like helmet versus helmet, you know? So
All right. In the background character tier, I mean, I gotta put Justice last. Like, there is literally nothing that I know about Justice. It's
true.
all speculation. Like, even worse than Bax.
Yeah.
Uma War is next.
Kind of same like change. They just on that timing.
Underutilized, yes. You are about the smoke. Ha ha ha. But say maybe there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey,
Line. Oh.
Now you
are the epitome of what we want from the Master Rules. You are a character.
And we're
you
not
have
asking
motivations.
For a lot. That's great.
It's just something, anything.
Just as good, you know.
Oh, I do love the dynamic between her and Nico. Does that pull her up enough to the perfectly used category?
Based off of how the Master Rules are as a collective, low key. Yeah. I think that kind of. I didn't expect her to be like that. I didn't expect any of that kind of connection with Nico to that degree. So
yeah,
that was a surprise. And she low key. I mean, I'm not sure. We'll see. She might be the only one of the Master Rules aside from maybe Soul that
Why would
might
you say that?
have that background.
Why'd you
we've
say
seen
that?
what happened in the previous loop, so we might not see the rest.
Don't jinx
like
it,
that.
Vontae.
I mean, I'm just saying in terms of like connection with a negator. I'm saying like we can see backstories from that doesn't really have to do with like a, you know, like how Nico and her. But yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm just traumatized preemptively. I put her behind Victor. I just like how Victor is used as kind of like an alter ego type of deal. A little bit more than I like her, but she is easily my favorite Master Rule. And I know we're technically on utilization, but I just love how she was used in the story so far. Okay. Might be a hot take. Uma Beast is next.
It's kind of weird. Depends how you look at it. Nah.
What were you thinking?
Gonna say used well, but then now I'm thinking underused just because I feel like, and we talked about this before. Like we feel like he could have been more. His is very generic, like typical of what a beast, savage man, beast monster would be.
But he's essentially like his story arc is over. It can't be underutilized because then they have potential to be utilized in the future. You know,
not necessarily.
Look at all those characters in that tier. You expect more out of them.
Not much at all. Like, okay, look, this is how I look at it. Okay. You know when you say Attack on Titan, I'm just thinking of the story. Okay. I'm sure you probably think there's a character in there that you feel like was underutilized, right? And the story's over.
Well.
And it is past this. It's not saying, you know, like I think that still works. Like, if a character was, I mean, I don't know how else, like, I see what you're saying though. I get how you're looking at it, but technically, I think you can still be underutilized even if you died already.
I recognize that's a pretty good counter argument, but just kind of like the taste that's left in my mouth, that is not a pun given his whole motif. But there is just so much more that I wanted out of him. Not that I thought that he could have had more potential. It's just I don't like the decision that was made to make him someone that consumes. You are what you eat. He is the personification of that. The beast, like, there was no wolf aesthetic. Like, he could have done so much more with like the animals. I just don't like
You know
how
what?
he was used.
I wish he had like some kind of dialogue about like survival, where like on a really deep philosophical view,
It
where
wasn't
it's
that.
like
It was
eat or
very
be
surface
eaten.
level.
He was just all like, oh, I'm the alpha, I'm dominant, I do what I like. I wish there
I'm
was
the
something
hunter.
about it that was, yeah. I wish there was something about it where it's like I exist because of like, I mean, yeah, like it's just nature. It's like at the end of the day, like prey, if you're the prey or the apex predator or whatever you are. I just wish I was kind of a part of that because I think also because we kind of sympathize with or empathize with Lon. I think he could have kind of did that with him too, if that was the motif or that was the thing going on with his character. But he was very surface level to be a master rule. You're very surface level, which isn't a big problem. But looking at the rest of these master rules, I mean, war is very like it's kind of the same thing. I expect that from him, but with Beast, you can get more. You can get real into like just the psyche of like just the nature of a thing, and that's why I think it's underutilized because he was used on one regard. We already knew okay, that's as much root that we should that we know that we're going to get, but there should be a lot more. And now
I
he's
get
dead,
that.
so
I'm more so like looking at it through the lens of I don't like what we got from them, so therefore I think the utilization was bad. It's not what I expected, and I think it's the expectations versus reality. And like, okay, so for example, take a look at Shen. Yes, he does
mhm.
have room to grow. Yes, we do expect him to grow more, but we didn't put him in the underutilized because we disliked what Tozuka had done with him up until this point. So yes,
Wait, he's still alive.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. It, we recognize that there is more to be gained from Shen moving forward, but we put him in the used badly category because we did not like the trajectory of where his character was going. On a similar mindset, I don't like Uma Beast for that reason because I felt like the potential was cut off. It was cut off
Mhm.
short.
But okay, let me just quickly think about that one. It was very expected. Hmm. I don't know. It's like I really just keep going back to underutilized though, because it's like he for a master rule, like you basically were like a regular rule of how he acted.
And because of that, I don't like it. So my dislike is making me think badly.
I see what you're
You
saying.
know,
Like your
because like
personal dislike.
if you look at the other superior rules in underutilized, because we haven't gotten anything from them, I look at Beast as separate. I can't put him in the same tier as being underutilized because what he was utilized is just I dislike how it was done.
I mean, but every character is utilized to a certain extent. That's why it's a thing of underutilized.
Yeah, we're kind of
But
going
I
back and
mean,
forth,
honestly,
guys. Do you,
I don't know why I'm going back and forth because I personally don't give a shit about him. So I agree with you. It's just I was looking at it on the objective lens where I'm like, can I actually say that about him? It's like if he did mostly what he was supposed to do. I mean, there's not too much more. Kind of like what Alvin said, there's not
hmm,
too much more potential necessarily. We just want it more. But it's I don't know. He's just a good adversary for the arc, but nothing crazy. So yeah, you can put him in use badly. I'm not gonna fight you over that at all.
All right. Well,
And plus,
I
the
feel
other
like
one
this is the
might
longest.
actually be better than him anyway. So yeah, it's like the rest of them
Okay.
still probably gonna end up improving.
Fair enough. All right, I'm gonna put Uma Time now that we know what his actual power is. For some reason, he was the last to be revealed. I'm gonna put him slightly above Uma Justice because he did have one line and he did try to attack Andy when they came into the void area within the sun. It's nothing.
Yeah. And quickly, I agree with you, Alves, but at the same time, it's like that's kind of what they all are. All of the rules.
Yeah, they're meant to be an opposing force. It's just I wish there was more personalized development for Uma Beast, if that makes sense.
Maybe Tozuka shouldn't have introduced him because that's very like you put yourself in a box where it's like Beast, okay, he's gonna do the same thing that any other rule would do, and he's just a savage like most rules are. So he's like everybody. He's like a shonen anime movie villain. You know how like a lot of times those villains are just like a character in the series. Like think of what's that One Piece Stampede, I think, with Douglas Bullet. He's basically like Kaido. You know what I'm saying? It's like
that's hilarious.
It's like okay, that's cool, but all right.
I get it. All right. The last of the master roles, we have Uma Sick. I like how he was used. He was the first introduction into the 10. He was intimidating. He had his own unique personality. He was kind of funny. I thought.
It's kind of like Spoiled.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like Bullet. Yeah. Wait, Sick. I actually expect a lot from Sick. I think he's gonna put some numbers because he needs to. He pretty much got humiliated, even though it's not crazy because Andy came and helped. But like to your colleagues, yeah, fucked up.
But I do also like what we've gotten from him so far, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you need a villain like that.
I'd have him maybe.
They build his character. He's about to get crazy.
Above Julia?
Or
maybe even above Ichiko.
Nah. I feel like
not above Ichiko.
We're about. I think we're going to get more from him. That'll probably put him above Ruin shortly, and then Ruin probably get that back. But I'll just say above, like around Soul.
You think Julia's better so far?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's below Soul. Because at least Soul got a lot of dialogue, more than all of them combined.
Yeah, but he did have a focus. Soul's been having some interesting conversations, which I guess you can, if you like that aspect of it, which I do. I just don't know which I hold in a higher regard.
Oh, that at a very high regard.
Because I love the tension that he reintroduced into the series. Like, if you remember, that was right after Chikara's arc, and we're like, oh, okay. Like, are we just doing like a Mickey Mouse type of recruitment cycle? Oh shit, like this guy is doing something. Like It takes 15 of us.
I agree, so I think Tozuka is really slow cook with him. Because there's a reason why he's been above him. Like Soul has literally been, he hasn't been able to do anything compared to his colleagues, barely. And that's with reason, you know.
So do you agree with Rafts? Do you think that Soul should be above Sick?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wish Sick had more like we picked it up a little bit like with his facial expressions and stuff. Like I want to see, and that's why I wish we got from all of them. I want to see how frustrated he was after his L. You know, I think that would have made me even more,
Mm,
locked in with him. But we're
yeah.
just assuming that Suzuka's gonna do right by him because of what happened. But I wish we got to see it ourselves. Of like, oh, he is boiling over there. Like we kind of notice it on our own, but I don't think it's noticeable for all readers.
That's fair. All right, next up we have Uma Burn.
Uh, honestly, honestly, I like him. I might say used badly. 'Cause
Interesting.
for Uma to always be present, whether we capture him or whatever, we haven't used him. It's like barely. Like it's Billy was
I
the one
was
that
gonna
used him the most
say,
out of anybody in anything.
I was gonna say used well. The reason for that, I loved how he had that conversation
God.
with Spoil in Winter, how he wants to meet the Maker, and that was the
And that's
whole
why-
reason why he decided to side with Billy. And then in Ragnarok, he was one of the first Umas that came to the battleground when
Yeah.
Sun appeared.
I feel like there's no follow up though.
Well, not
That's-
yet,
that's
because
the
he was
thing I
just a
don't like.
reward. He was a reward for this past quest.
But I just feel like he's gonna do the same shit. God, that's you. Hey, what's up, man? And he ain't gonna say nothing to him because he's just a
If
husk,
Remember does not work on him, he might.
right? And Burn, yeah, like in 1-on-1, he definitely is in the background. I mean, I know, like you just said, we just got him, but I just feel like there's no. And I love that back. I was like, oh, wait a minute, roll. Oh, well, okay. He wants to see his maker, and then the more and more we go through the series, and the more that we're learning about Sun, somewhat implicitly, I feel like there's nothing there in the end. He's just going to be this. It's going to be like Gigantomachia, but like less, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Or he's going to feel betrayed or feel, emptiness with Sun, where it's like, damn. Unless this will be huge. Unless Sun like wasn't empty at one point. We talked about this before, and Burn knew that, and he's like, "Where's my master at? Why is he not there?" So like, that's
so
why he
just like
listened. I'm like, that's my
Kagantamachia.
God, that's my maker. Like, cause why are you bigging up this big husk of heat just because y'all both fire? But I think there's more to it. Cause why is he so much? Well, once again, the heat thing. I don't think Suzuka is that surface level. Oh, just because they're both high, he's like, yeah. But
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like we can get so much more from him. It just depends if Tozuka wants to move in that direction or not.
Yeah.
So you said used badly. I don't know. That it feels a little harsh considering that like cavemen aren't the most intelligent. Like he's just kind of working with what he's got up there.
Okay. I mean, okay.
I'd maybe say underused because I don't think it's bad how he's.
I'm
been
only gonna say
used.
underused just for the fighting aspect. I expected to always see him all the time. Every time we have him, like just
Okay.
pretty much kind of like how move. We always use move. But I do agree with what you said about him and Billy. So technically, we did get it, but
I'm gonna put
There's
him
more.
here? Question mark?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Spoil.
Next up, Spoil.
I think he was used very well.
I
Like
agree.
he was the correct type of adversary for us to have. Like he's
Umas have sentience,
yep.
or rules have sentience.
And we literally don't have to see him no more. Like we really don't. Not in this movie.
No, he recognizes that he is an essential part of this simulation, this game. Like he plays a role. And if
Yep.
he did not play a role, then death for humanity and other species on the planet, they would not have the same, reality.
Process. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, above Tatiana, maybe?
Well, Tatiana. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good spot for him. Okay, next up we have Clothy.
Honestly, well, for me, I know you usually always like point him out or at least think about him, but he's like
Sure.
background for me because I honestly forget
I
about him
get
all the
that.
time, like all the time. You don't even see him a lot, especially with paneling. Like it's just you probably think about him every now and then, but I personally don't.
Yeah, that's fair. Even though I would want to put him in Used Well because he's one of the better mascots.
True,
I
though,
just
that is true.
I just keep thinking about his conversation with Fuko during the spring arc, which that arc just gets better and better with nostalgia glasses on.
I need to reread it, so I gotta do it.
So good. Him having that conversation with Fuko saying like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be on your side." That is literally going against my coding and what I was created for. And then him showing up, coming back with Andy, like smiling / crying when he sees Fuko for the first time in thousands of years. Like, I just love that from Clothy.
Like, yeah, he has real characterization regardless of what he is. It's like on the surface, I guess I look at it more at the surface level. Like he literally is not even drawn on panels, but you just,
he's a smiley face on the suit. Exactly.
Yeah, but on the real note, like how you just got into depth with him, like out of all the rules in terms of like likability, he's easily like top 2 because of he's a comrade. He's a comrade.
All right, I will take the liberty of putting him in the Used Well. I'm going to put him a little above Kaide, just because we've gotten a little bit more from him. I know that might seem disrespectful to some people, but...
More than the main character's mom? What the hell?
He is a piece of cloth. Yeah. All right. Not even going to talk about this character, because it's not a character. It's literally an ice cube.
You know he's actually gonna be the final villain, right? When Sun gets destroyed, it's gonna be cold, and then he's gonna harbor all the strength of all.
I said moving on.
Ever, even in space.
Uma Goat. I mean Uma Spring. We're gonna
perfect. Honestly, yeah, up there. Yep. Because we didn't expect nothing to that extent. Like we always expected Rule like almost to be like spoiled and a little bit more, but Spring was like he had a whole arc centered around him. It wasn't just like he's just an adversary. Like no, he out of all the seasons he was leaps and bounds beyond them. And as a character in general for the cast, like
very similar.
That's a risk.
Very simple. Oh, absolutely. Like, if that had not gone well, Tozuka could have written himself into a corner if he did not execute.
People would drop
perfectly.
Like, what the fuck are we reading?
We're trying to give, personality. You're trying to give a soul, unironically, to the rules. And his interaction with Fuko, that made me love both of those characters simultaneously. Like, Haru, she got her one shining moment with Spring.
Right.
Spring is goated. Okay. Next up, we have Uma Summer.
What the hell did he do?
Used badly. You are fireworks. An NPC villain.
Yeah. Get your ass down there, boy.
Yeah.
It's not even your fault. It kind of is.
I just wish that this Uma, because we know that Uma Spring and Uma Autumn, they both spoke. They had dialogue.
Yeah.
This is just, a candle. An explosive candle. Okay, you're a dragon. That's kind of cool, but, like, are you going to say anything? Do you have
Honestly,
any motivations?
that aspect is kind of even worse than Winter in a way. Like, Winter just couldn't. But he could, but he didn't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that aspect, but he's still above Winter. Winter is fucking garbage. Garbage.
I think there's going to be an interesting conversation for the second to last one. There's going to be Uma Autumn.
I usually don't care about Autumn, but I think Autumn was used well.
Agreed.
Just because, I mean, Autumn, Red, like, yeah. Like, for them, he was like a foil. Not necessarily a foil, but kind of, I guess. Like,
it was a necessary hurdle that had to be overcome.
Yeah. Did exactly what you need to do as an adversary, especially amongst those 4 seasons. Like, 2 of them, nada, 1 golded, and you're right in the middle. So yeah, you're as well.
Where in that tier? Doesn't really matter. I would say maybe above sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And the last character on this poll, and shout out to him for being on here, because honestly, he has not shown up in nearly any other tier list that we have done on this channel.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I might just get us out the gate. I think Seal might have been used perfectly.
Technically, yes. Like, yes, literally, he did do what he was when he was created to do. Yeah. Like, he literally, like, I know people want to see him again, but honestly, he did what he was supposed to do already, regardless of if Andy got out and, any of that.
He beat Andy. He was tasked with sealing Andy, and he did that.
Exactly. And also, for people that do want him, it's like, it doesn't matter, because the only reason why he was even created was for that reason. So now it could be a whole entirely different reason, and he wouldn't be created. It would be like another character or another regulator that's created for whatever reason.
Well,
let's say Julia.
You want to talk about the power system, how it depends on interpretation? What if the Umas can have a different interpretation?
Right. It'd be funny. Imagine if he was like, he actually was created again, and that's where Fang is. He got sealed.
Oh, no.
And then Fang is going to do the soul stuff.
Oh, yes.
I mean, because technically, it's revenge because he off-screened him last time. So, I mean, hey. Oh, and he's selling the artifacts too. Ooh, and the heart.
Hold
on.
Okay, hold on. You just unearthed something. Oh, wait. Did I just unironically name the third god? Unearthed?
Oh, no. That's Tozuka.
So, Luna, Sun, and Unearthed.
Why Unearthed, though?
Because it has UN in it.
That's
literally the only reason. To describe the planet.
Real quick question: do you think that if like Earth, is a god, do you think that it was a god before and it's just like dormant, or you think it's going to be created once we defeat Sun and Luna, and that now we have a Earth god?
I think it might be the new god moving forward after Luna/Sun is defeated. But it could also be, a dormant thing because
god
it keeps getting destroyed and reformed over and over again.
A god of balance, a god of coexistence. I mean, technically, yeah, because in real life, the sun powers us, keeps us living. the moon, the orbiting, the gravity, gravitational pull. Like, I actually really want to see that. Like the Earth get it got like in this series. Perhaps with heart. I don't know.
Ooh, that'd be pretty dark.
Key.
If you remove
Like,
the heart from the earth, if it then like awakens from its slumber.
damn. And plus in a series like this, well, everything negating makes sense.
Because you have unearthed the heart of the cards. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, this is our tier list for utilization in Undead Unluck of all of these characters that you see on our screen.
Wow.
I like it. I think this is a pretty great tier list.
That top three is so accurate in the top tier list. Like literally, they superseded everything that we thought for no reason.
And even to a certain extent, like I might even throw Akira in there, but Akira, because we know that there could be more, not fully realized. Again, half for the memes that we put those three in that tier by itself, but
Honestly,
they
Move
exceeded
Akira up.
expectations. Move Akira
Move
up?
Akira up.
All right.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't know why. I guess it changed once we started adding more of them in there. But like seriously, Akira was like you always say, self-insert from Tozuka, and the like that's you don't never see a character like that in another series. Kind of like what we say about Sean from going from the literal bottom to the top. You don't see that either. Tozuka does things that you never see in Shonen. Name a character that's like Akira. I mean, I know you can name a few, but not many.
Not to that extent.
Yeah. The outsider that actually is very much involved and seen everything.
And cares, is a genuinely good person. Perfection.
Like, it's literally Aaron Yeager, but not the MC. It's like, you know the story. And
the self-insured of Isayama. Aaron telling Isayama how to write Aaron. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Nah, that's how you know he's a good writer. Look at those four. None of them are nowhere near being the main character, or at least characters that people are mostly looking for at all.
Yeah, going into the series, if I showed this tier list to anyone, or if this tier list was shown to me, I'm just like, okay, the top two in Perfectly makes sense. Those are the two MCs. There's four people above them? The two MCs?
Right.
Yes. And it makes sense.
Damn, that's crazy. they literally, wow. Tozuka, I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
Love this series, man. Too good.
Yep. Well, so tier list, like you said, this is the only correct tier list, by the way. Like, come on, man. Matter of fact, if you disagree with those top four, you don't know a ball. You don't know ball. None of them had any kind of expectations whatsoever.
And even the expectations that you had, you exceeded them.
Yeah. Like, I'll say the only one out of those four is probably like Chikara. Like, people could obviously tell, okay, he's going to be pretty good one day. But he still, overseeded that. And then the other three is like, you never would have guessed.
Yep. All right, guys, so I can see on my left hand of my screen, if you can hear me, that my internet connection might be starting to fade a little bit. So we can go ahead and wrap it up here if you can still hear me.
All right, guys, you guys know the drill, man. Lots and lots of content. You guys see all the anime that dropped. Bleach is back. Dandadan debuted. My Hero's closing out. Even stuff that we don't cover. One Piece is still doing great. We still got more anime and live action and stuff in the backlog that's coming out as well, and stuff on our personal channels as well. So we're doing the damn thing, man.
It's so fun to be a fan of animanga at this point in history. Like, just
Literally.
peek everywhere you look.
If you still don't watch anime or read manga, come on, man. You're the geek. You're the loser. You're the one.
You close, whack. You reading, whack. You fit. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right. See you guys on the next stream or video. And please stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. See you guys all then. And peace.